Welcome back to the final episode of Brooklyn Nets franchise here on NBA 2K25. As we know, 2K26 is right around the corner, might already be out by the time this video is posted, and I never wrapped this series up. We were actually right in the playoffs here. This is season 2. Didn't get too far into it, like I said. We are matched up against the Hornets. This is going to be a very rebuild style type of video, not going to be the traditional franchise episode, obviously. We got a lot to get through. I don't know how long this is going to take. Could be a lot, could be a little. Depends a lot on the development of Shep Pickett, Brian Knight, and Jaren Bamba. But everybody knows we have the Clippers pick and the Jazz pick. We're going to have to look at the lottery once the season's over. But there is a great amount of prospects in this draft. I mean, the top 4 are just all ridiculous players. Studley Bond, Emmett Lemon Jr., Baxter Lobo, Reed Watson, even Kirk Hittner is a pretty good player too. I mean, we're hoping for a lot of those picks. That's going to be the cornerstones of this franchise going forward, and we're just going to look at the careers of all the guys that we draft, and we're going to try and get them all a ring. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We are going to start simulating with Simcast. Game 1 against the Hornets. This is the playoffs now. It's a different stage. We'll see how our guys respond. Right now we're down and we're coming back late. Oh, we just stole game 1 on the road. 38-22 in the fourth quarter is what did it. Really good play all around. Super balanced attack. Cam Thomas wasn't great, but he didn't turn the ball over a lot. You got to love that. That's crazy. Brian Knight, 24, leading the team. Jonte Wright. This is a guy that was the 8th pick in last year's draft from Gonzaga. 28 points, got a lot of free throws. LaMelo still did his thing. Brandon Miller still did his thing, but the rest of the Hornets, not good enough. That's an exciting Game 1 victory. Steven Adams is hurt. We're going to have to adjust the rotation. All right, and with that out of the way, we are going to simcast Game 2. So far, pretty evenly matched game. Charlotte took the lead in the second, but we rally back in the fourth again. This time, Charlotte pulls away, wins by 12 pretty convincingly. Cam Thomas scored the ball very well. Zaire Williams, who we gave a lot more minutes to, did not have a good game too. Shep Pickett did okay. Nobody else really took over. Brian Knight and Bamba were a lot less efficient, coupled with Zaire. All right, Game 3. Another simcasted game. This time we're at home, and we come out the gates hot. It's a pretty back and forth game, but we have a pretty consistent lead. We're carrying that into the fourth. Charlotte's pushing back, but it's not enough. So we take a 2-1 lead, despite Cam Thomas shooting 5 of 17. Brian Knight, Clowney, Pickett all with 19. LaMelo had 25, but everybody else was pretty balanced, and Jonte Wright went cold. So now, Game 4, at home, we could take a 3-1 series lead, or it could be tied. Charlotte comes out the gate hot, but it's still pretty back and forth. Into the third, it's back and forth all over the place. And coming down to the wire here, Charlotte is pulling away. Yeah, that one is over. Shep Pickett had an incredibly efficient game. Cam Thomas, again, not so much. Jaren Bamba, not so much. Jonte Wright hit us with a 30-piece. Giddey had 28. Miller had 28, even though LaMelo Ball had 7 and probably got hurt. No, he fouled out. That's crazy. But they still won that game convincingly, even with LaMelo giving you 7 points. Damn near had the same amount of points as he did fouls. That's crazy. But now it's 2-2, pivotal Game 5. We're now on the road. We've played well on the road so far, but Charlotte, well, I don't want to say anything because it's very back and forth. Right now, Charlotte is running away with it in the fourth, and that looks like that'll be all. Cam Thomas actually played pretty well. 3 turnovers is Jaren Bamba had 10 assists, but he didn't shoot the ball very well. Neither did Brian Knight. Shep Pickett didn't really do a lot. Just overall, not a great game. Pretty forgettable. So back against the wall, but we're at home for Game 6. What is the result going to be? Right now, it's looking pretty close. We're pulling away in the second, maintaining our lead in the third. We're going to force a Game 7. That is crazy. Cam Thomas with 38. He did not want to go home. Isaiah Hartenstein had 22 rebounds. Once again, Shep Pickett did not have a good game, 4 of 14 from the field. Yikes. And here we are, Game 7 in Simcast. Starting out hot. Starting out really hot. We're cooling off a little. Nope. Psych. I lied. Look at this. Up 20 heading into the fourth quarter. I mean, it's anybody's game. Not really. We're going to Simcast this out. 132 to 118 the final. Guess why we gave Shep Pickett those minutes? 28, 6 and 5, only one turnover, adds a steal in there. Don't disrespect him. This is our franchise cornerstone. Why weren't we giving him more minutes in the first place? Cam Thomas was amazing. Brian Knight was amazing. Jaren Bamba was amazing. These are the core four going forward, plus if we can add any high talented picks in this year's draft. But we've got a lot of role players around them. They all did their part. They let the big dogs eat. You see the result. So now we're facing the Pacers, who have Chris Middleton, Nembhard, Halliburton, Siakam, and Turner. Mathurin still off the bench. I mean, this team is filthy. They went Game 7 against Toronto. Raptors gave them a surprisingly difficult fight. I mean, this team is not good. Scotty didn't even average 20 points a game. RJ Barrett barely did. I don't know. Maybe the Pacers aren't that good, because what universe does that Raptors team take you 7? Also, matchups in this playoffs, we got Cleveland and Detroit, Dallas, OKC, Minnesota, and Golden State. How are we going to do against another threat here with the Indiana Pacers? Game's starting off good. Pacers take a lead. It's very back and forth, though, heading into the half. It's very close. Pacers go on a run in the third, and it doesn't look like they're going to look back. They blow us out in the fourth. Cam Thomas had a very efficient night. Shep Pickett, not so much. Does that say 2 of 24? Brian Knight is insane. Jaren Bamba, 2 of 15? Yeah, that game is a fluke. We're running it back. I don't care. Wow, the Pacers are still whooping us. This is nasty. This is murder. This should not be shown on national TV. Is that a 50-point loss? It's a 48-point loss. That's crazy. Cam Thomas didn't do well. Nobody did well, really. I mean, Brian Knight, 5 turnovers. Simmons had 4. Halliburton had 32, 14, 5 steals. He didn't even shoot the ball well, but he's a plus 40. Siakam is a plus 48. I mean, that's just insane. So we're down 2-0. I think that's time to look at the game plan. They want Simmons start. Why do I let this? I'm never rebuilding these rotations again. This is pathetic. Why would you make Ben Simmons the starting point guard? He is clearly the 6th man. Zaire has been very good, so I want to get him up in minutes. I'd like to keep Simmons at 22. Adams is on a minutes restriction. I'd like to give the minutes out like that. All right, let's see if that did anything. Down 2-0, but we are now at home, and we're coming out the gates hot. Slow a little in the second, but we're pulling away in the third. They're coming back in the fourth, and we win by 6. That's very inefficient shooting from everyone, but the dogfight ends up with us victorious, and we're on to Game 4. Let's look at what the team's going to do. Pretty bad start, and we're kind of climbing our way back in. Right now, only down 5-ish, very much falling behind. Yeah, I don't know if this one's doable. We're down 25 when it's all said and done. Very, very bad. Halliburton is just murdering us. He's not doing it efficiently at all, but good God, he's murdering us. All right, we got to come back down 3-1 against the Pacers, team that was in the finals in real life this year. We start off the game hot, completely blow it in the second quarter. We're climbing it back, and we take the lead in the fourth. It went to overtime, and we're in the lead. Oh, now we're not. Down 4 with a minute to go. Yeah. It looks over. It's over. And we are eliminated from the playoffs. We got it to overtime, and that's cool, but ultimately we are out in the second round in 5. Let's take a look quickly at the playoff stats just for our team. Cam Thomas was our best scorer. Brian Knight right behind him, but Knight was just chucking. Pickett was relatively efficient, honestly, especially from 3, which is a development, but Jaren Bamba is a horrible horrible three-point shooter in the playoffs this year. 35% from the field is just not going to cut it. I liked what we saw from Zaire. I'm glad that we got him on a very cheap extension. He's definitely someone that I'm going to want to keep around. Ulrich Svensson played exactly as you expect, but he only got 13 minutes just because of that injury to Zaire. So obviously we know what we know about everybody. Clowney wasn't great either. Somehow 23% from 3. Like, why do I have this guy as a 4? I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to have to make some major changes to the roster to be competitive, but I really want to keep Cam Thomas around if possible. I probably see him as a 6-man type of guy. That means someone like Brian Knight is going to have to develop into something more than just a catch-and-shoot guy. I do think Brian Knight is the ultimate starter, but he's going to have to get past Cam Thomas in development first. We will sim our way out of this. Conference Finals ends with Luka averaging a 27-point triple-double and Tyrese Halliburton. Awesome. So the losers of the last 2 finals in real life go head-to-head, and the Pacers sweep. Tyrese Halliburton gets his finals MVP. I mean, those numbers are crazy, exactly what his playoff numbers are, so that makes me think that's not what his finals numbers were. But that's okay. I'm not really trying to spend too much time on it. All right, lottery. This is what we're looking for. We have the projected number 3 pick and the number 12 pick. We're going to go one by one because this is one of the most important parts of the franchise. This is going to shape the team going forward. If we can add one more cornerstone superstar in this draft, just guy getting, a top 3 pick, we got to do that. Number 12, nope, we're not going to jump. That sucks. Well, we got the number 12 pick, so now all of our odds are on the Utah pick. It's crazy because once we traded for that Clippers pick, they started shooting up the standings. We're still in it here, top 8 pick. We just don't want to fall. I don't want to jinx it, but here we are. Bulls at 8. Now the Grizzlies at 7. Again, any top 7 pick would be great, but we're looking for a lottery win if possible. Lakers still staying at 6. That is awesome. Now number 5, the Magic. It's the Wizards. Interesting. Number 4 now, it says, is us. Oh, man. We are not picking 4, baby. Philly is picking 4. Now it says it's going to be us at 3. It's the Pelicans. We have a top 2 pick in the draft. Oh, my God. What's the number 2 pick? Oh, my God. No way. Oh, my God. I knew this pick was going to be valuable. I didn't know it was going to be the number 1 pick. I am so excited. You guys do not understand why yet. That pick from Utah was the most important asset. I thought the Clippers pick would be better, but 12 is going to be exactly perfect for where we need to get our guy. We have 2 picks in this draft. I already had him in the back of my mind. I'm not going to spoil all of it, but I think we know who the certified number 1 pick in the draft is. This guy, Larry Bird, is his comparison. 32, 8, 5, and 3 stocks, all on those splits. I mean, over 29 games for Syracuse. This guy is nasty. This isn't even something I noticed, but he's literally a hometown kid, like going to school in New York. We're going to get this guy. There is somebody down the board here that we're hoping will fall to us at 12. I'm not going to say who it is. We will obviously find out in the draft. But that is exhilarating. I love that. We're not going to worry too much about this. We're going to go to the draft combine. That's cool. We'll get through that. Pre-draft workouts. We're going to invite everybody, the creme de la creme. So we've got all of that info there, and it is time for the draft. Number 1 pick. Nets are on the clock, and welcome Studley Bond. 83 overall. This is a generational player. I had no thought in the world that we were going to be able to get this guy. I mean, B-plus inside scorer, average mid-range scorer, above average three-point shooter. The playmaking and the defense are definitely questionable. He's kind of a wing, could play the 3, could play the 2. He's not really big enough to play the 4 yet, but if we needed him to, he has the athleticism for it. Only B-plus potential, so he might actually not get a lot better. I was thinking that this guy was going to have like 95 potential, but I mean the clear-cut number 1 prospect in the draft, not even close. I'm so excited to make him a member of this team. Number 2, The Magic are going to get Emmett Lemon Jr. Again, this draft I'm going to pay a lot of attention to just because I created these guys personally. Emmett Lemon was another very good player. Terrible rebounder for his size, but he's a very well-rounded scorer, defender, playmaker. He does it all. Nothing really, outstanding other than his athleticism. And the A- potential actually is slightly higher than Studley Bond, so even though he's going to come in at a lower overall, he might actually reach higher heights. But it all, depends on how they come out and play. The Magic officially have too many wings. I don't know what they're going to do with Franz. Franz might have to move to the 2, but they will make it work. And the third pick is Reed Watson, another very talented player, a center to pair with Zion. I really like the fit with this team. He has A+ potential, so he's going to probably be the highest potential player in the draft. We definitely could have drafted him. This was a guy that if he fell to us and we were picking at 3, there was a universe where Reed Watson was going to be our pick. And honestly, you can't go wrong. He's a phenomenal player, especially given, his size. He's going to be impactful right away. And, can't miss player with him. But Bond is just by far the highest overall player, and that's what we need is bucket getters. Philly takes Baxter Lobo. So this is the top 4 as I kind of imagined it. Baxter Lobo would have been another guy I would have considered. Again, super well-rounded player, B+ potential. Not quite the athlete that the other guys are, but he's 6'10". He plays physical. He may not have crazy jump out the gym athleticism, but Baxter Lobo is a great, great player. Philly definitely got a solid player there. And now pick 5, Sandro Crispin to the Wizards. That's crazy. Crispin is a 79 overall out of Wisconsin. Clear-cut interior player. Someone probably to make sure Alex Sarr gets to play the 4, because this is your defensive big man. He's okay even defending on the perimeter too. He's a nasty player. He's only got B- potential, so that kind of sucks. He's not going to be too much better than he is right now, but this is definitely a good player. He's a winning player, a very good rim protector, and definitely someone that Washington is going to be thrilled to have. Now the Lakers, number 6, they want to trade for Amen Thompson. Do I let them do that? No way. No way. Take your guy. They take Kirk Hittner. I like that a lot better. Kirk Hittner was, the 5th guy in this draft, in my opinion. He's a very good defender and scorer, very Devin Booker-esque. He does wear that number 1. A+ potential. Yeah, Kirk Hittner is sick. I really would have thought about him, but we already have too many shot-creating guys on the team. This guy's a good athlete and defender, don't get me wrong. Wouldn't be mad at having him. Studley Bond is just a little bit more polished as a prospect, and the athleticism is just ridiculous. But I'm sure the Lakers are stoked to have their next hooper. He's going to be a great, great player in his own right. Tremont Cruz going to Memphis. The LSU guard is very, very talented. He's great inside. He's great outside. He's a very average player in terms of his playmaking, but A potential, A- athleticism. You got to love all of this. The potential ratings also, just to be clear, change a lot over time. A lot of it is based on how they perform in the league. So having the higher overall to start, like Studley Bond here, the B+ difference between, his B+ and Emmett Lemon's A-, it's probably not that big of a deal. But back to Tremont Cruz, he's a very talented player. Everyone in the lottery is. Now we get the Bulls. They go Pepe Potts, likely the Vucevic replacement, and he's a very well-rounded player in his own right. Honestly, is like if Rudy Gobert had an offensive game. He's not exactly the defender that Gobert is, but they're both French, and I'm making a lazy comparison. B+ potential, though. All of these guys are going to be major players in the league for the years to come. Ethan Neely, another very good prospect, going to Milwaukee. I love the fit. He is a very raw prospect, 74 overall, A- potential, though. He's a good defender, good athleticism, very well-rounded scorer. It's kind of all you can ask for. He's a great guy, but he's going to take a year probably for him to crack the rotation, especially with Doc Rivers. He doesn't play those youngins. Memphis is up again. Oh, and they go Trey Howard. I did not expect Trey Howard to go this early. I thought he would fall to 12. That was the guy. In my head, this was the guy I was going to go after. Only C+ potential. Trey Howard is, of course, the son of Mac Howard Jr., who I don't know if I can show it here. Probably not. He is the GM of this team. So that would have obviously been a nepotism hire. But we're going to keep a close eye on Trey Howard. I'm rooting for him. I think he's a sick player. Potential cap sucks, but he's a very versatile wing and someone that I would love to have had play the 4 for us. Probably going to have to be Shep Pickett, though. We'll see what happens. And we are now 1 pick away. Right before us, the Spurs take Joseph Irving. So another forward off the board. 78 overall. He is 20. Very good 3-and-D player. And he's got potential to grow, B+ potential. You can do a lot with that in the Spurs system, too. You got to consider that. Now we're up. We've got a lot of options here, and I mean a lot. I don't even know if I have a draft board. Do I? Bond, Lemon Jr., Lobo, Hittner. Trey Howard was 5 for us, by the way. Neely, Watson, Irving, and Forbes. So then it was Forbes. He's not a super efficient player, but it says he has all NBA potential, as it does for Clay Gooden. I don't really like these guys, though, because I feel like they're at positions that I don't feel like we need that badly. Are there any big men? Douglas Black has Hall of Fame potential. There's no way. I'll keep tabs on that later in the first round. James Roby has all-star potential. But, if we look at the prospects here, Geno Winter does not project highly. His grades are okay. He's obviously going to be a good rebounder and a good athlete, and, he'll play. He's 19, but it says he has B- potential. All right, well, we are on the clock. There's some changes I got to address in a second here, but right now, we've got a lot of different options. Cam Knox, probably not going to be anything special. Neither is Geno Winter. But at 12, some big boards have this guy going at 5. Some guys, think he's going to be a lot lower than that. Right now, you're looking at a guy who's 14, 13, and 3 in college. I mean, that's insane. He's right now ranked at 17. Clay Gooden's at 11. Micah Penn is at 14. Theoretically, he has A potential. Theoretically, Gooden has B-, and Geno Winter would have B-. But the rebounding and the athleticism, I mean, those are good things. He's 19. He would have room to develop. That's what I like about him as opposed to any of these other guys. James Roby I like for similar reasons. He's also big. Theoretically, he can space the floor. He's not as much of an athlete, but he is a defender, and Roby supposedly has high potential. He would be ranked at 24, though. Winter, theoretically, is a more athletic, better rebounder. He's not going to be the offensive guy, but he inside will have a big presence. I mean, I'm talking myself into it. I think it's got to be Geno Winter. We're taking him at 12. We need talent inside. Speaking of those things that I needed to address, the Grizzlies actually took Manny Forbes at 7, Trey Howard at 8 to the Bulls. The Bucks got Tremont Cruz, Pepe Potts to the Grizzlies at 10, and the Spurs still went with Joseph Irving at 11. At 12, obviously, we took Geno Winter, and he has C+ potential. That sucks. But we knew that. I think we could start him. I really do. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to play him off the bench, but we'll see what the team looks like. We needed a big man. Probably took the wrong one. James Roby is probably going to be the better player, but we'll see. The Grizzlies want to send Naz Reid from the Suns, and they'll get whatever. If this is what the Suns want to do, they get Tariq Jackson Jr. That is cool, and Cam Knox goes to the Bulls. So instead of them getting Pepe Potts, they end up with Trey Howard. Still wasn't going to fall to us. Tariq Jackson Jr., C+ potential, nothing crazy. Cam Knox, C+ potential, nothing crazy. Cam Knox is 21, by the way, as opposed to Geno Winter, 2 years younger. I feel very good about it. He plays exactly what we need. An inside player, somebody who's going to block shots, somebody who's going to score inside. just an all-around interior threat and an interior enforcer, as his player archetype says. We're going to keep it moving. Senso Garcia to the Heat, Micah Penn to the Thunder, Clay Gooden to the Nuggets, Wenli Lee to the Kings, Alonzo Jeffries to the Pelicans, James Roby finally goes. So he went a little bit later. Senso Garcia, real quick, just to show, has A-plus potential. The Heat got another demon. Of course they did. Micah Penn to the Thunder. He has A potential. Of course he does. I was looking at him. I mean, we just don't need those forwards. We're very clogged in that area. Clay Gooden, we knew he was a good scorer, B potential. Wenli Lee, very well-rounded guy, but not a high ceiling. Alonzo Jeffries, A potential, of course. And James Roby, the one that we're worried about. A potential. Yeah, I whiffed on that. I could have taken James Roby. I liked that potential better. He's just not the athlete. I'm not going to be too pessimistic about it. I just obviously knew that Roby was the guy with the high ceiling. But at the same time, like, D perimeter defense, like, Gino Winter at least has C+. Like, Gino can guard all positions. Like, this is a defensive monster. Rob Williams, number 44, was an inspiration for him for sure. So obviously that sucks. We're going to keep going through. Ethan Neely was like the number 8 pick. Yeah, Neely was the 9th pick to the Bucks originally. Now he falls all the way to 21 to the Knicks. He still has A- potential. We still knew that. That's crazy. Dalton Alexander to the Suns. Rod Jones to the Hawks. Jelani Driscoll to the Spurs. Love that for them. Rex Sims to the Thunder. AJ Liberty to the Wolves. Douglas Black to the Mavs. The Cavs take Ulf Sundin. Ivan Bosnak to the Sixers. And to round out the first round, that's Homer Foster. We'll take a look at the rest of these guys. Obviously, throw in anybody who is interesting. Alexander, B+ potential. Suns got a developmental guy there. Rod Jones is just a three-point shooter. Jelani Driscoll, A potential is crazy for him. Glad that the Spurs got another demon. Of course, I don't mean that. The Thunder whiffed on Rex Sims. That's at least something. And AJ Liberty is not higher potential than our guy, so that's good. Douglas Black, B- potential. Ulf Sundin, C+. Bosnak, C+, and Homer Foster, C. So overall, the draft could have gone better, could have gone worse. I'm simming the second round. I'm not worried about it. We will go to the rookie signing. Obviously going to accept both our guys. Player options, $30 million on Isaiah Hartenstein. I feel like we're good. We're going to keep the cap space. Not that we won't sign him. We can throw 16.5 at Isaiah Hartenstein for 2 years. I do feel like it would be good to still keep him as the starting big. I'll give him that. He's going to agree. So we stick around. Instead of him having a $28 million contract over 1 year, we're going to give him 34 over 2. Balance the books a little bit. And we've signed him. I'm just going to sim us to player progression. I will take a look at free agency. De'Aaron Fox to the Mavs is crazy. Keegan Murray to the Suns. Dyson Daniels stays with the Hawks. Benedict Mathurin stays with the Pacers. Jaden Ivey stays with the Pistons. Jimmy Butler goes to the Thunder. That's kind of crazy. Trae Young stays with the Hawks. Mikal Bridges goes to the Clippers, and the Jazz sign Jaren Jackson. Luka goes to the Suns. What? Bucks re-sign J-Dub. That makes sense. I mean, most of these guys all going back to their own teams. Paolo re-signs Chet, Jabari, Shaden Sharp re-sign. We re-signed Hartenstein. Timberwolves end up re-signing KD. That's good. They didn't give too much up there. The Wizards signed Amari Bailey. I don't even know who that is. All right, whatever. That's everything there. Player progression is in, and it's glorious. Cam Thomas is still the best player at an 84 overall. Studley Bond's going to be right behind him, but Shep Pickett shoots up to an 82. Bamba shoots up to an 82. Knight is a 79, so he's going to continue to be our sixth man. Pickett or Bond is going to have to move to the 4, which is not ideal. Studley Bond is, at my opinion, a 3. 6'8", 215, he could be a small ball 4, but that's just not where he fits in. So this is going to be a hard decision here. Cam Thomas is the best player on the team. He's got very high potential. Do we have him be the point guard? Do we have him be the shooting guard? Do we have to move Pickett to the 4? I mean, he's just not the biggest. But Bond is too big. I don't want Bond at the 4. These are going to be some rough decisions with the lineup, but we'll get there when we get there. Ulrich Svensson up to a 77, so that's going to be interesting to see how these guys play. Steven Adams regressed. He might just be the one that gets cut, honestly, because Stevie Pickett shot up 3. Like, he's even going to be a better player than Steven Adams, and Steven Adams is getting old. But it's a good trend, a lot of guys trending upwards. I feel very good about where the roster is. We are going to just skip to the rest of the season, and I will see you there when we get to the starting lineup. This might be the craziest thing I've proposed here, but I've got Brian Knight and Day'Ron Sharpe for Trey Howard. Obviously, Brian Knight is a great player. I don't know if this is going to go through. I don't know if it should go through. Brian Knight has really good potential, but just the way that I see this roster, it's either going to be him or Cam Thomas here. We've got a lot of guys that are forwards or wings, Shep Pickett and Studley Bond being the guys I'm going to keep over him. Both Studley and Shep go down 2 overall points if I move them to the 4. I just don't want to have to do that. I think Shep Pickett as a 6-man would be great. We just don't really have a true 4. I think Conley is cool, but he's just not ready, I don't think, to be the primary 4. I think we could have him as a backup center option. Him and Gino Winter, I feel like, would work very well together. I do feel like Clowney could stay at the 4. I'm going to take the first-round pick out because that's greedy, and they still don't want to do it even with that. I don't know if this would work, but Micah Penn is only valued at 2.5 stars by the Thunder. This is a guy with A potential that we just saw go at 16 this draft. I would absolutely do this. Brian Knight, and we could get our pick back in 2029. Thunder, what do we say? They say absolutely not. I'll do it straight up, Brian Knight for Micah Penn. They still say no. Can we be for real here? Because let's look at the Thunder real quick. Their starting shooting guard is Ajay Mitchell. Why wouldn't they do that? Another trade that's not going to happen. Figure I'll just go after Kenny Foster. Again, Brian Knight and Day'Ron Sharpe going. They don't want to do that. That's perfectly fine. I also really like Des Gabriel from the Bucks. He is their 6-man right now, but I mean the dude would be a 4 anywhere. So I would take him. We're going to offer them this trade. They don't want it. But what if I throw in the Sixers pick? I feel like this I would be down with. Giving up Brian Knight, giving our roster more flexibility. They still don't want it. I get it. They like these guys. They drafted them, but I'm over the roster limit here. I'm just trying to play ball, Let's go into Trade Finder with some of those guys that we were looking at, because everybody's got a price, Micah Penn, for example. No offers. That's crazy. Trey Howard. Okay, so Trey Howard is gettable if we give up Shep Pickett, which is not happening. Bamba, which is not happening. And Shep Pickett again, which is not happening. So let's go back to the Bucks. What do we got for Dez? Bamba and Herter. Studley, Bond. Oh, they want to throw Markkanen in. I don't want that. And then we'd have to give up Bamba again. We just don't have a point guard. Like, Bamba is too valuable, and I'm obviously not going to give up those guys. So that's not happening. This interests me a lot. We could get Kenny Foster Jr. here and Naz Reid if we give up Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas. Now, Kenny Foster would have to go on the books, and that's a lot of guys to have to keep around. But we would have Bamba. We would have Knight as still as our 6-man. We'd probably have Pickett and Bond, and then Foster, and then we could even have Naz Reid off the bench. Or we could start him either way. We'd lose our backup point guard here. I said that I love Cam Thomas, and I really do, but let's just be like 100% for real. His stats already dropped. He's already going to be just a scorer on this team. His efficiency was good last year, but they need him in Memphis. And if they'll give us Kenny Foster, someone who's a part of our future, I don't think I can say no to that. I love Ben Simmons, but what do you mean it's been declined? What do you mean you're not interested? You offered this trade. What are we talking about? Once again, I ask you for Kenny Foster. Again, now number 4 pick in the draft. This is no hard bargain here. This is literally the trade I just said to you, and they accept it. That one hurts, and I'm so sorry to anyone who really likes Cam Thomas. We still have 16 players on the roster, too. Like, I was supposed to make a trade to, like, lower the roster size. Obviously, that did not happen. But Jaren Bamba and Shake Milton, Knight and Herter being our only guard depth. Obviously, Bond and Pickett can come in. But we have Kenny Foster, too, now. I think we need to trade Trendon Watford for pretty much anything that we can find. Let's trade Finder somebody with money. I don't think I can get rid of Naz Reid or Hartenstein. Oh, right, Sharp. I was supposed to do this already. Anybody who's... Okay, the Bulls are giving us their unprotected first for Day'Ron Sharp. Yeah, we're done. We're done there. That's a great deal. So, Jaren Bamba, Shake Milton to back him up at point. Then we've got for wings, Brian Knight, Kevin Herter, Studley Bond, Shep Pickett, Ulrich Svensson, Zaire Williams. Then we've got Kenny Foster Jr., age 20. This guy played 1 year in the league. He wasn't great with Memphis. They're in win now mode. That's cool. But we're going to take this guy on. He's sick. And then we've got Isaiah Hartenstein, Naz Reid, and Geno Winter. We've got Geno Winter to develop now. He can definitely come in and play. But this is a nasty team. It's a young team, but there's a lot of veteran presence. I really like the direction that this team is going in, and I knew Cam Thomas was going to be gone eventually. I mean, it was either him or Knight. Knight realistically can develop. He's still a great 6-man. He's going to be a good catch-and-shoot guy. I mean, I don't know if him or Pickett comes off the bench, to be honest, but it just feels wrong to not start Shep Pickett after the season that he had. So we'll make sure that the rotations are right. Steph Curry going on a farewell tour. Sounds good to me. Let's look at this game plan. Bamba 34 is kind of crazy. Bond 35 is kind of crazy. But if we're doing that, then let's do it. 34 to Pickett, and I want 35 to Foster. I don't mind Naz Reid getting 22, Hartenstein 27. Knight I want at 20. Winter I want at 15. Svensson can have 15. Let's bump Knight to 22 and Reid to 23. That'll be the rotation to start the year. I love the core 4 that we now have. It's kind of crazy that Brian Knight is outside of the core 4, but when you get Bond and the jumps from Pickett and Bamba, and then we trade for Kenny Foster, who, by the way, was a KD kind of clone coming out of college. That was his NBA comparison. Number 7 was for the time that KD was on the Nets. I mean, I'm ready to watch this team play. I'm really stoked for it. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sim to the deadline, and then I will catch you guys there with a little bit of an update. Well, we are 36-15 at the deadline. Crazy. I don't know what that is, like, in the conference. Oh, it's first. Cool. Yeah, the Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham Pistons with 88 Ausar Thompson, 85 Duran, Ivy as the 6-man, Herb Jones. We're on par with that team. Bamba, Pickett, Bond, Foster, Geno Winter right now is the starting 5. All guys I created. And Knight as the 6th man is actually crazy too. Naz Reid, Svensson, Clowney, Williams are all here. Isaiah Hartenstein got hurt. He was the starter. He's been the starter. But Geno Winter, 8-6, pretty solid efficiency. You feel good about that. Foster started out the year rough efficiency-wise. He's up to 19-9 a game. 46, 39, 75 is not great efficiency, but we'll take it for a young player, second-year guy. Studley Bond is a 18, 5, and 6 guy, and his efficiency is very, very good, especially for a rookie. Shep Pickett, trying to get that efficiency up there. He's up to 17.5, 4.5 assists, 6 rebounds, turnovers 2.5 a game. That's the best part of Studley Bond, is he'll give you the same amount of dimes but entire less turnover. Jaren Bamba's turning the ball over a good amount. He is still struggling with his 3-point shot, but again, they're all very much that 17, 6, and 6 range. 5 and 6, whatever it may be. Brian Knight started out the year super hot, still shooting it from 3 very, very well, but as an overall player, the efficiency still could be a little better, but he shoots a lot of threes, and he shoots a high percentage on those threes. I'm not going to complain about it. So leading the conference is crazy enough. Let's look at the rookie report. Let's see what all these other guys are doing. Oh, Kirk Hittner on 41% from the field is averaging 20. Cool. Clay Gooden with the Nuggets is averaging 20. Off the bench most of the time. That's crazy. I don't know what happened to Jamal Murray. Baxter Lobo for the Sixers is horrible efficiency-wise, but he's averaging his 19. That's kind of crazy. Studley Bond is 4th in points per game. Tariq Jackson for the Suns is chucking. That's crazy. And Celso Garcia, we already knew his high potential for the Heat. He's crazy. Ethan Neely for the Knicks is nasty. Reed Watson for the Pelicans, not getting a ton of minutes per game. I don't know, close to 27 or so. That's not horrible. Studley Bond definitely has the most minutes per game. Regardless, we're sitting pretty. I don't have any trades I want to make right now. I'm not sure. We'll look at the Rising Stars challenges. Actually, real quick, before I forget to do it, let's see if we have any contract extensions that we can give. All right, to Shake Milton and Kevin Huerter. The minimum for 2 years, Kev, sounds good. Awesome. Shake, same thing. Minimum 2 years. How do you like it? Sounds great. All right, we got some of those guys back, and we will sim ahead. We're still going crazy, and Hartenstein is back. So we made it through the All-Star weekend. The rookies, it was a pretty game. Bond didn't really do much. He filled up the stat sheet, though. And as for the sophomores, Foster didn't really shoot it well. Pickett was okay, good 12 points, but he didn't really do much else. Des Gabriel, that guy we really like. He didn't shoot that ball super well. Neither did Bagley, though. It was a very weird game. Jaren Bamba, 6 and 4. Super, super odd there. Jalen Brunson won the three-point contest, and for the dunk contest, I don't know who the competitors were in those, but it doesn't really matter. We didn't have any All-Stars, and I think we're just going to sim to the end of the regular season here. Luka averages a 32-point triple-double, basically, on 52, 40, and 84 from the line. Kirk Hittner, on terrible efficiency, was the Rookie of the Year. Studley Bond only had 17, 6, and 5, and his efficiency wasn't anything too crazy. I mean, he didn't hog the ball the way Hittner did. Lobo was also up there for sure, but I don't know. I'm cool with Hittner getting it. Only rookie to average 20 points. Granted, he did it on a lot of shots, but Amen Thompson, 6-man. Victor Wembanyama Depoy, most improved Gerard Baku. Luka gets clutch player of the year. JB Bickerstaff coach of the year. Joseph Jackson exec. All right, cool. No Brooklyn Nets on any All-NBA teams, which is fine. No Nets on all defensive teams. Rookies, Studley Bond on the first team. We know this. Really wish we could have gotten our center on the second team, but I guess not. We did end up being the second seed. I'll go and show the records, but we were 55 and 27. Last year we were 41 and 41. We traded away Cam Thomas, made a blockbuster deal at the start of the year for Kenny Foster Jr., who had 18, basically 9 and 3 for us. He's a very, very good player. Studley Bond, we already saw the stats, but that's what he did. We know what he does. Shep Pickett, 17 a game, 4.5 assists. 6 rebounds. I mean, his efficiency slowly went up all year. That's great. Bamba still struggling with the 3-ball, but again, 18, 6, and 6. Nothing to slouch about. Naz Reid had an okay year. Brian Knight didn't have as much production, but he was more efficient than last year, which is good. Good bench scorer, microwave scorer. That's what we needed. Gino Winter, like I said, could have made All-NBA second team. I really thought he had a great season, and we, have a pretty deep roster. We're going to have to simulate the play-in to see who we play, but of course, it's going to be the Bulls. And I say of course because the man, the myth, the legend, where is he? Trey Howard. Oh my God, he's hurt. Two creepy strangers dressed in tennis whites show up uninvited to vacation home asking to borrow eggs. Is expected to miss the rest of the season. Wow, that's brutal. Oh, he tore his right hamstring. So that is definitely the season. That really sucks. He honestly had a really good rookie year, too. That is crazy, but I think we'll be able to handle the Bulls pretty well. They really snuck into the playoffs, honestly. It's also worth noting we were the 7th seed last year, so we jumped from the 7th seed, having to win the play-in to get into the playoffs, to now being the team that's waiting for the 7th seed. You know what I'm saying, though. This is crazy turnaround, and we're just going to simulate with Simcat. The flu? You're playing through the flu, buddy. It's the playoffs. We take game 1. Shep Pickett and Jaren Bamba do a lot of work. Studley Bond clearly took a back seat as he was sick, but Pickett starting out the playoffs, awesome. We held Jalen Smith to 5 of 14, Buzelis to 3 of 11. Let's keep that energy up, sim another game, and Chicago actually takes game 2. So Bamba and Reed lead the way with 19 each, Foster 5 of 14. That's not going to cut it, especially not letting them score as efficiently as they did. We win game 3. That's what matters. Wow, that was a defensive slugfest. 6 of 18, Cam Knox. Zach LaVine, 3 of 15. 1 of 6, Santi Aldama. And yet we don't win by that much. I mean, it takes a fourth quarter comeback, really, to win this game. Studley Bond, 22 and 9. 4 turnovers is but Kenny Foster was way worse, 2 of 10. Bamba was 5 of 15. Svensson was 1 of 10. Pickett was 2 of 8. Winter was 3 of 9. So there was not a lot going on efficiency-wise in this game, but that's okay. Simulate through the next one. We take game 4. We're up 3-1. This one we win a lot more convincingly. Wire-to-wire win, as they say. Kenny Foster and Studley Bond not super efficient in this one, but it doesn't matter. Brian Knight leads the way with 27. Bamba has 28, 3, and 4. And Pickett, honestly, didn't shoot the ball a lot, but he was efficient when he did. So that brings us to hopefully the last game of the series. We got to adjust the lineup, though. We added Isaiah Hartenstein back into the rotation. We're going to leave that as is, and we end up dropping this game. Studley Bond finally healthy, but we lose as Kenny Foster and Shep Pickett sell. We lose by 12, and yeah, we let Aaron Wiggins and Kobe White get hot. That's what happens. You can't risk losing and forcing a Game 7 here. Just can't do it. I will go into this game if I have to, and they're looking like they're going to make me. We're down in the third quarter. This is crazy. We're trying to claw our way back, but it doesn't even really look like we're going to do that. We're going 7 as the 2 seed. I mean, Kenny Foster has just been selling all playoff series long. He's grabbing boards and stuff, but oh my God, seriously, 27% from the field? He's a double agent. We give up Cam Thomas for that guy. I mean, who in their right mind would do that? And it's not like anyone on the Bulls in particular is beating us. Like, we're beating ourselves. It's very clear. All right, Game 7 in the first round against the Bulls. Let's see. And we've got a pretty decent lead going into the fourth, but they've come back. They're climbing back. It's now us pulling away. I don't know. It looks like it's over now. That was really concerning, though. Seriously tough first round against a lowly Bulls team. Not great omen for the rest of the playoffs, although Jaren Bamba leads the way, 28, 8, and 5. Bond had 21, 8, and 6. He played great. Foster, again, not excellent, and Pickett, not great either, but we do enough to win. We now have our rematch in the second round against the Pacers. Very similar team that they have here. They've got Mathurin starting finally. We are going to take game 1. Let's take a look at the box score. Studley Bond, 36 points. Bamba did not shoot it well. Still Foster did not shoot it well, but 8 assists. We will take that. And we held the Pacers as low as you can really expect to with them. We are going to play game 2. We lose by 4. That's so brutal. Studley Bond went 2 for 10. So after his amazing game 1, he sells the bag in game 2, and we lose despite playing relatively good defense. I mean, holding them to near 100 after they went for like 120 the game before. Now we're on their turf, and they take game 3. Halliburton, 32, 10, 12, 5, 2 blocks. I mean, he killed it on our side of things. Foster finally had a good game, but Bond and Knight did not. What's that, a combined 9 of 33 shooting? That's atrocious. And then threw a Bomba in there. I don't even want to know. We're on to the next game. We're going to simulate this one with Simcast. Again, we don't care about the Shake Milton injury. He's not in the rotation. This is a very pivotal game, and we come out flat. We're crawling our way back into it, but we're still down double digits entering the fourth quarter. We go on a little bit of a run. We're down, but we're only down 4 with 1:19. Oh my God, we took the lead. It's 108-107. And we are still holding the lead, and we come away victorious in this one. That is a huge win. Bond and Bamba not shooting well, but Knight and Pickett doing enough to give us the win. Again, for the Pacers, Halliburton has been amazing. No real person to point to on their end that was awful. A couple of guys that didn't really do a ton. But that's tying the series up and bringing it home for game 5. Let's see how we start this one. It's pretty back and forth, but we take a big lead, then we give it all up, and now we're still fighting. It's pretty neck and neck entering the fourth. Very low scoring game still. The games in Brooklyn seem to be that way. We've pulled away in the fourth. We're building our lead, and it is over. We win game 5. Bamba 20, 11, and 5. Bond did well. Winter did well. Pickett, Foster Jr., Naz Reid, Zaire, but we take game 5. That's what matters. Now, game 6 in Simcast as well. We come out the gates hot. We're blowing them out in their own building, or are we blowing the lead? Nope, we're gonna hold on. That's awesome. 25-point win. Bond did good. Foster did good. Bamba, he shot the ball a lot, but you know what? He came through. And we end up winning that series in 6 games, and we're headed to the conference finals. We're going to match up against Atlanta. Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Reese-Hache, Nikola Jovic, and John Collins, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, and Onyeka Okongwu. You see the team. It's super deep. It's got a star in Trae Young who has been lighting it up to start the playoffs. Look at that efficiency. It's incredible. So we're going to simulate game 1. We take it. Shep Pickett, 30, 11, and 5. Studley Bond, 31, 6, and 5. They shot the ball a lot. Foster has a triple-double, 15, 10, and 10, shooting efficiently, so we'll take that. With the Hawks, it was Reese-Hache that was doing the damage. Trae Young was 6 of 16. We're going to have to hold him, but we held everybody else in check, too. We blew them out by near 50. We're going to sim game 2. We're going to take that as well. Jaren Bamba, 26, 11, and 8. Foster, 24, 11, and 4. Very efficient shooting from them. And Bond, 23, 6, and 5. Not really sure what Shep Pickett was doing or Brian Knight in this one, but it didn't matter. Another big blowout. We're going up 3-0 now. Trae Young did damage, and it still wasn't enough. We won by 10. Huge swing of momentum in the fourth quarter. Come from behind victory. Bond, Foster, Bamba. I mean, even Pickett had a good game. He didn't shoot the 3-ball well, but even if he makes one of his threes, he ends up with a 50% from the field, 18 and 7. You'll never complain about that. I feel great about it. Can we sweep them? No. They are going to take a game. We're going to avoid the sweep. Not really much to say. Knight and Bond and Winter and Pickett all sold the bag in that one. Now, we don't want to blow a 3-0 lead, so thank goodness we win that game. Pickett goes off, so does Foster, so does Knight, so does Bond. It's a very well-rounded team effort to close out the series. And again, Trae Young, 10 points, held 3 of 9. Reese-Hache shot 28 times. They lost by a lot, and it really wasn't close at any point. So that'll put us into the finals against the Wolves. Anthony Edwards, 38, 9, and 5, averaging in the playoffs. And Studley Bond wins in his rookie year, Conference Finals MVP, averaging 23, 6, and 5. I don't know if that's his playoff stats. It is, so not sure exactly what he did in the Conference Finals, but we know it was good enough for him to be the MVP. Matching up against the Timberwolves is scary. This is Rob Dillingham, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Kevin Durant, Rudy Gobert, DiVincenzo. I mean, they've still got a decently deep bench. Not really. They've got enough guys to compete. That's what matters. Is Noah Clowney even in the rotation? No, he's not. So that doesn't really impact us. I'm not sure why Isaiah Hartenstein is so mad, but that's okay. We're going to sim this game, and Timberwolves take game 1. Shep Pickett was pretty good. It was a very balanced attack from us. Foster didn't shoot it great. Bamba shot it bad. Anthony Edwards went crazy. KD didn't even shoot well, and we still got blown out. That's not good. Game 2, we lose as well. Foster is shooting the air out of the ball. That's crazy. Knight and Bamba not playing well. Neither was Winter. Anthony Edwards played well. Durant, again, not even really doing that much, and the Timberwolves are still beating us. All right, let's sim it with Simcast. We're on the road. We lost the first 2 games of the series at home. That is brutal. It's not looking like it's going to get any better in this one, although we are trying to come back. They're extending their lead in the 4th. It's looking like it's going to be too little too late. Yeah, that one is over. So we're down 3-0 in the finals. Shep Pickett actually played really well, but Bamba shot 6 of 21. Bond, 3 of 15. Can't really hold it over his head, but 2 of 12 from Foster. It's just not going to cut it. Ant has been going berserk. KD has been so meh. It's not even funny. But we're now back against the wall on the road again. We're coming out the gates hot. We're already running out of steam. They've already tied it by halftime. We actually are pushing back ahead, and we avoid the sweep. So good for us. Very good game from pretty much everybody. I say that, but Bamba, Pickett, and Foster did not shoot it well. We still come out with the win, though. Ant padding his stats regardless. Durant, still not that good. It's kind of crazy that the Timberwolves are up 3-0. I don't care. I don't want Noah Clowney in the rotation. And now we're at home. We are in a pretty tight game still. The Wolves have control of it. We've gone on a run in the 3rd, and now it is back in 4th. The season is still on the line here. We're in the 4th quarter. It's still back and forth. The Wolves have pulled away, though, and it looks like they are going to win the finals on our home floor, no less. Bamba emptied the clip. He did all he could do. Bond did okay, I guess. Like, Knight, 2 of 11 is not going to cut it. But Anthony Edwards went superhuman, and he is almost assuredly the finals MVP, as he should be. He earned it. We made it to the finals, though, in year 3 of the series. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to keep moving here. Player retirements, we see all the names. It's a lot of big names there. I mean, a lot of coaches retiring. Hall of Fame, Curry, Dame, and Paul George. Jersey retirements, Draymond, Curry, and Lillard. That makes sense. League meetings, I don't care. We are rejecting everything. Draft lottery. Do we have any shot at... We have the number 1 pick? That was that pick from Philly. Are you serious? There's no shot we're about to have the number 1 pick. That would be insane. Back-to-back years with it, I don't even think it was our pick either time. No, because last year how we got Studley Bond was the Utah pick. So if we could get the first pick in another draft, not with our pick too, I mean, that's crazy. Honestly, this video is going to be too long. I'm just skipping the lottery. We fall to 4, which is fair, because what? That would be just too crazy to pick number 1 back-to-back years. Shooting guard Isaac Paul is apparently the next Michael Jordan. Wow. I sincerely doubt it. We will see who's on the board, though. I mean, I'll just send all these top guys. Isaac Paul goes to the Pelicans at number 1. Stacey Stevenson to the Hawks. Freddie Randolph to the Sixers. And, of course, the Thunder have picks 5 and 6. They are sickos. Sidney Hall, All-NBA potential. Ronnie Valentine, All-NBA potential as well. Oh, Joshua Anderson, Wes Unseld, Hall of Fame. If I don't see another Hall of Fame, wingspan 7'7". Yeah, we're going to take Josh Anderson at 4. I think that's a very good pick. I guess he's not anything too crazy. Grades, what are we looking at? C potential. So that's not Hall of Fame. Cool. I just sold the draft. We just sold that so hard. I'm just going to sim to the end. I don't even want to know, honestly. Sidney Hall, what was he? B+ potential. Of course he was. Harry Wright, were we even thinking of picking him? No, he was trash too. A lot of interesting players here. J.J. Evans, B+ potential. Some good talent. Obviously, we picked the wrong guy, so that's embarrassing. Isaac Knight, the CPU picked him, A potential. That is very cool. That's what we call a makeup. We are going to give all of our rookie and second-year players these qualifying offers or the team options or whatever. We don't have any cap room, so I'm not even going to really worry about it. We're going to have to cut 2 people? Really? I don't even know what to do. Whatever. We'll deal with that in a second. We obviously don't need to sign anybody. We're going to have to get rid of people. Might make a big move. We're now into player progression, and Studley Bond shoots up to a 90. After his rookie year, he has A potential now. I know that B+ was kind of scary at the beginning, but Jaren Bamba, 87 overall. He has A potential. Chet Pickett, up to an 86. He still has A potential. Kenny Foster, 84. Brian Knight, 81. Naz Reid stays at an 80. Everybody else doesn't really go up a ton. Isaiah Hartenstein is still heated. He might end up getting traded, unfortunately, especially if Geno Winter is going to be able to cover that center role. He's up to B- potential already. I think he just had C+. Also, Stevie Pickett, now up to a 76. He's becoming real close to being playable. So we love to see all of that. I don't think we can make any trades, so I'm just going to get to the part where we can do that, and we'll make some move. This is a trade I'm mulling over here. Wyatt Yates just shot up in development, and he's not going to play. He's got Nick Smith and LaMelo Ball ahead of him, both in overall. And I think this trade would be really cool. I would not want to necessarily have to give up Brian Knight. I feel like obviously Wyatt Yates value-wise is high, but seriously, they have 2 guards ahead of him, plus Josh Giddey if you really think about it, and they've got big wings. They need bigs. So Josh Anderson and Noah Clowney there would be fixes for that. Josh Anderson would be the center that we're not going to play anyway. Brian Knight's cool. Wyatt Yates is probably going to be better. Miles Bridges is good depth too. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I'm sorry to anybody who got attached to Brian Knight. I do realistically think that we could get him back, honestly. We could sign him. If Wyatt Yates really doesn't work out, we could probably sign him. That move makes the roster so much more balanced. We have a solid backup point guard. Obviously, shooting guard depth looks bad, but Pickett or Bond can play there. Foster is obviously going to be our 4, but now we have more wing flexibility. Miles Bridges. Stevie Pickett's obviously still going to be an option, too, to play. So we've got a lot of depth on the team. Isaiah Hartenstein is still frustrated, so I think I'm going to trade finder him, although we kind of need a backup big now. Trenton Watford, I guess, can be a backup. But what can we get here? Ooh, Wendell Carter and a first from the Cavs, and all we have to do is give up Herter. That is cool with me. So now we don't lose on the backup center. We have Wendell Carter, who theoretically could play for us as the starting center this year. Geno Winter is also definitely an option. Wendell's probably going to be a backup option, honestly, but we'll see. Either way, that does make our roster complete in a sense. I'm just okay, so Bond at shooting guard goes down to an 89. Pickett only goes down 1 to an 86. So we're going to make Shep Pickett our starting shooting guard. I think that makes everything look a lot better in that area. We've got wing depth. We've got big depth. Let's just get to the season. I'm not happy about sending Brian Knight there. I really am not. But he's going to have a good role there. I feel like he's going to thrive in Charlotte, and I know we needed that backup point guard badly. He is going to be the backup, as I already said. He spent 2 good seasons with us. I just saw too much inconsistency. He's a great shooter. He's going to get his shots up in Charlotte. I just didn't see him as a long-term member of this team. We've got Studley Bond, we've got Jaren Bamba, we've got Pickett, we've got Foster, and we've got Yates now. I do want to have Gino Winter is part of the mix too. Wyatt Yates starting over Bamba when Bamba is the clear better overall player. This game never ceases to amaze me sometimes. I like this rotation so far. Haven't scrolled all the way down, but yeah, I just don't think Svensson is a part of the everyday rotation. I think it's probably looking like this right now. Yeah, we'll do 25 to Yates, we'll do 20 to Bridges, we'll do 19 to Reed, and 18 to Winter. We'll just see how everybody plays. We'll start out with Carter there at the starting center, but we will be subject to change that. It all depends on the record this year. I did want to stop here just for a second because Studley Bond made his first All-Star, and he's starting 21, 7.5, 6 on 48, 42, 87. I mean, his free throw percentage went up insane. Everything went up, though. I mean, look at those stats. He's just a beast. So congrats to him. Des Gabriel balling out in Milwaukee. He is putting up similar numbers on way worse efficiency, so glad that they respect Studley Bond being the leader of this winning team. But here we are at the trade deadline. 37-14 is the record, very similar to where we were at last season. Still first in the conference. Bulls, number 2, and that's because they got Trey Howard, who is averaging 23.5 points per game. You know what's awesome about the Trey Howard stuff is when I made the draft class, before I actually put it into that franchise, the Las Vegas Outlaws, that some of you on the channel might have seen, he actually was drafted to the Bulls. So very interesting there. Trey Howard is obviously leading them, but them getting Dyson Daniels is also huge. I don't know how they pulled that off. We'll take a look at the player stats on the team, but it's very clearly Studley Bond and friends. Jaren Bamba, very similar numbers to what we already know from him, 17, 6, and 6. The 3-ball, still not efficient. I might switch his tendencies up a bit there. Shep Pickett, still balling out, 17, 5, and 4. He's getting more and more efficient as we go. That's obviously good. Kenny Foster is not having a very efficient year, and it shows. Other than that, it's been pretty good. Wyatt Yates averaging 12 on decent efficiency. I am curious just to go look at the Hornets. Where is our guy? Brian Knight is doing his thing, doing what he does, hitting his threes. But, yeah, I mean, obviously we knew he was a role player like that, and we feel like we got the better end of that deal. As for trades, I don't really think there's anything I want to do, as we're the best team in the league. But I did want to take a look at contract extensions, who is available. Shake Milton, Watford, and Naz Reid. So Reid would want $16 a year, and this would kick in when he's 30. Because he already has 2 years. So I don't think we're going to do any of these extensions. Maybe we'll re-sign Watford. Yeah, he'll take the minimum. So we will do that. But we're going to do the all-star stuff. We got to at least get there first. Hopefully nothing interrupts it. Awesome. So the rookies beat the sophomores. Obviously, the rookies, we don't have anybody on that team. Studley Bond was the hero of his team, 2013, 4-2, but it wasn't enough. The rest of the team sold. Emmett Lemon Jr. being the major culprit. So what is the three-point contest? We got Rob Dillingham, Halliburton, McCain, Reese Hachey, Joseph Irving, and Cam Whitmore. so we can sim that. The dunk contest is Jaron Bamba, Dash Mitchell, Colaware, and Modest Buzelis. So we're not going to actually do the dunk contest, but Jaron Bamba does win it. That's awesome. You got to feel good about that. We are going to sim the All-Star game. Team Tyrese ends up winning. Studley Bond did not shoot the ball very well. 15, 7, and 5, though. Not horrible, I suppose. Better than what Luka did. Yuck. Or John Morant. Okay, now I feel a little bit better. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to show of this. We're just going to sim to the end of the regular season, and I'll catch you there. Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. Stacey Stevenson, Rookie of the Year. Clay Gooden, Sixth Man of the Year. Wemby Depoy, Trey Howard wins Most Improved. No arguments here. Jalen Green for the Nuggets, Clutch Player of the Year. Jeff Longley, Coach of the Year. John Murphy, Exec of the Year. No Nets on the first team, but Studley Bond makes the second team. 21, 7, and 6. 50, 40, 85. Not just 40, 44% from 3. This guy's a stud. No pun intended. No other Nets on any of those teams. Nobody on the defensive teams. And nobody on the rookie teams either. We are the first seed in the conference. We won 62 games. So still improving from the year before. I mean, we finished the year out very strong. But at the end of the day, being one of the 260-win teams in the league is impressive, especially when the Spurs are the other team. They've got Caden Banks, who averages 26 and 5. They've got Jordan Poole, who's not even really that crazy for him. Debo Moore Jr., who we almost drafted. Jeremy Sohan. Wemby. And then Gerard Baku is your 6th man. Stephon Castle's your 7th man. Joseph Irving is your 8th man. Malachi Branham and then Jelani Driscoll is your 9 and 10. Isaac Okoro doesn't even get to play unless there's injuries. And that doesn't even mention that Devin Vassell is normally where Jordan Poole is. So that Spurs team is nasty. I'm scared of them. But there's a lot of 50-win teams in the East. 5 total, including the Hornets, who obviously we know them pretty well. We know Brian Knight. He ended up getting around what he had with us the first 2 years, but I just didn't see any improvement from him. We had to flip him for Wyatt Yates, who was a major part of our success this year. He averaged 14, but he also has that playmaking, almost 6 assists. He's much more efficient overall from the field. He's not quite the three-point shooter, but he's a backup point guard, and we have enough spacing on this team already. I feel great about our team. We're going to sim the play-in, so now we've got Cleveland as our matchup. Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, AJ Liberty, Ulf Sundin. This team is very top-heavy. You've got 3 pretty good players and not a ton else. We win game 1. Studley Bond, 36, 11, and 7 on very good efficiency. Bamba had 29, 5, and 4. Pickett wasn't great, but we'll let that slide. Mobley had 33, but otherwise everybody else was struggling. Game 2, we win it as well. Bamba now with the 30-piece. Miles Bridges, not a lot of respect for that guy, but he put up some numbers. Bond did not have a great game 2, but it didn't matter. We blew the Cavs out. Mitchell went crazy, but nobody else could get anything going. We win game 3, have a 3-0 lead. This one was a very balanced team effort. Got to respect that. And hopefully we'll just sweep them. We do. Mitchell didn't play a horrible series. Wyatt Yates, 9 of 10. Nice. Studley Bond took a backseat on a lot of those later games. Bamba did very well, but, sweep in the first round, you're not going to complain about that. Now we get a rematch against Detroit. I don't know if we actually got a rematch. We just might have been the top 2 seeds one year. But still, Cade and Booker. Book hasn't been anything too crazy to start the playoffs, but Cade has. Full 30. Asar's been good. They've got depth. I'm definitely nervous about this Pistons team. They do take game 1. Chet Pickett, 4 of 18. Wyatt Yates, 2 of 10. Bamba, 3 of 11. Geno Winter, 3 of 12. And Bond, 3 of 11. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen again. It just isn't. We lose. Bond 3 of 6, fouled out of the game. What is going on? Foster 9 of 24. Why is he chucking everything? All right, we're going in with Simcast. I don't want to go out in the second round this year. We're starting off the game hot, and we're holding our lead pretty well. I'd say this one is all but over, and the buzzer sounds. We blew him out big time. Pickett, Foster, Bond, all much, much better. 5 steals for Bamba. That's the way we like it. We are going to go back on the road, trying not to fall down 3-1. Another good start. We're pretty good at matching what they're doing. Right now, we've got a double-digit lead, but it could evaporate. Final 4 minutes, and it looks like we are going to hold on. That's beautiful. Another great game from Pickett and Bond. Bridges chips in. Yates, Foster, Bamba. I mean, a complete game from the team. We erased that 2-0 deficit, but we could still lose game 5. We're coming out the gates hot. We're matching them in the second. We even built a huge lead, and now this is just an absolute blowout win by over 40. Bond had 27-11. Not 11. 27, 12, and 8 for Bond is crazy. 24, 7, and 8 for Bamba is good. Yates didn't miss. Neither did Bridges. Pickett didn't have a great game. Neither did Foster. It didn't matter. We blew them out of the water, and now we're staring one game away from the conference finals. Can we do it? And we do. We win game 6. Convincingly, again. No fault of Cade Cunningham. I mean, he was on fire all series, but Yates had 20 and 10 off the bench. Pickett, Bond, Foster, Bamba, all 19 or more points per game. I mean, you got to feel great about that. And now we're going to take on the Raptors, who I dissed. This is a rematch. Won the play-in to play us. They took us 7 games. Let's try not to let that happen again, yeah? We've got to face James Roby, who admittedly has not been as good as I thought he was going to be, so that makes me feel a little bit better. We're just going to sim this game. We win game 1. Bond leads the way. We hold them to 81 points. I mean, that's not heard of these days. Foster, 3 of 15, 3 of 13 for Pickett. That's no good, but this is 2-0 lead. Another very balanced attack from us. Bond leading the way. This one we still win by 20. A lot of the lead was created in the second and third quarter. So now we have the opportunity to go up 3-0. We can't. Roby is the reason why. Him, Barnes. Is that Josh Christopher? Wow, haven't thought about that guy in a while. But yeah, they won this one pretty convincingly despite good effort from Bamba, Foster, and Bond. And we are able to go up 3-1. Thank goodness. I was holding my breath there. I don't know if you could tell. We got 32, 9, and 6 from Bamba, 14 of 16 from the line. Bond, 25, 7, and 5. Yates, 23, 8, and 4. 19, 8, and 5 for Foster. Pickett, 17, 7, and 4. I mean, it goes down the line. Everybody played great. And now we can go to the finals. We don't. We lose in overtime by 1. Foster had a very good game. Bond had a good game. Pickett kind of sold the bag. Yeah, that's really rough. We're going to go in Simcast for Game 6. We are on the road in Game 6. It's a back-and-forth game. We're starting to pull away in the second. We are holding our ground, and it's really anybody's ball game. We're coming down to the final minutes here. It's neck and neck. We've pretty much pulled away. That was scary towards the end. Pickett redeems himself. Bond didn't have a great game, but it doesn't matter. We're on to the finals. We're waiting to see, and Portland comes back down 3-2. Vinny Patterson, a guy that I liked out of that first draft class, is conference finals MVP, and Kenny Foster actually wins it this time for us. We're going to meet the Blazers in the finals. You saw Vinny Patterson. They still have Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Denny Avdia, DeAndre Ayton, Isaiah Jackson, Melton. I mean, this team, honestly, is not that good. They beat the Spurs in 7. They beat the Kings, and they beat the Rockets. That's kind of crazy. I think we're going to sim game 1. We take it. Very well-balanced approach. Came down to the wire. We pulled away. Vinny Patterson shot 4 for 20. Nice. Game 2, what do we got? we take it again. We go up 2-0. Shep Pickett, 38-6 with 4 blocks. Kenny Foster, 21-8-5. Wyatt Yates, 27-4. Bond doesn't do a whole lot, but 17-5-5, only taking 8 shots. You got to feel okay about it. Game 3, we lose, so we're only up 2-1. It takes another overtime victory, 45 from Shaden Sharp, 30 from Avdia to overthrow us that game. Another good game from Bond and Foster and Pickett. Reed was good. I mean, Bamba was the only one, maybe him and Bridges, that didn't live up to expectations. I think we'll sim Game 4 with Simcast. We are on the road. We're starting it out back and forth. That's how these games have been, and this one is no different. We're still neck and neck. Entering the fourth quarter, we've got a slight lead, probably like 4 points or so. We are still maintaining it, but it's slow. It's a slow slugfest here. We are still leading, but it's close. It's back and forth, and it looks like we're going to pull it out. It got really close there at the end. We end up winning by 1 to go up 3-1. Bond and Pickett and Bamba were super efficient. Foster not this time. Nor was really anybody else on the team besides maybe Ulrich Svensson. Shaden Sharp killing it, but it just wasn't enough tonight. We now have the opportunity to win the finals. Game 5 at home. We started out hot, and we're maintaining our lead. It's still looking good into the fourth quarter. Wow. We're gonna do it, folks. And obviously, I am going to jump in here. I'm going to play with the team a little bit because this is going to be the end of the episode. We've started out with Wyatt Yates at the line. His first is money, and his second is up and good as well. So we've got Yates and Bamba on the floor with Bond, Bridges, and I believe that's Foster. Yeah, Foster's running the 4. We've got Bridges running the 5. It's certainly an interesting rotation. Foster disrupted that shot. It won't matter. Ooh, Bond got him in the air. He's got him in a lot of places. That's a deep one. We're not going to get that to go. Genuinely great to see this Nets team win a ring. I could definitely, if this video does well, do a part 2 to this, but I just don't feel like that's something that we need unless all of the people in the comments watching really want to see it. That's the only scenario as Bond gets his slam. What a horrible camera angle that was. Bond is playing defense now too. This game has been over. It's kind of crazy to win Game 5 this badly. Never a doubt. We're going to get it up ahead. I want Bond as many fancy plays as we can. Oh, he went to end his life. That was crazy. Sharp on the break gets 2, but we're just running the clock out at this point. I think I will call a timeout just to get all of my favorites in. We stubbed in the drafted starting 5 here. We got Pickett in. That's awesome. We got Studley Bond wide open, and he buries the 3. I don't know what they're doing. Obviously, the game is well over, but we're going to let our guys play it out. I feel like they've earned this. They're going to win their first finals. It's definitely possibly many. I will not lie. There is a potential part 2 to this episode, but I just wanted to see these guys get a ring. If you want to see how their careers end, that would be a whole nother video in and of itself. Bond hits him with a step back. I wonder if that goes. It won't. Pickett guarding Sharp. Wow, that's a mismatch. Sharp gets all the way. Good thing we're up 40. Gino Winter greens a 3. That's nasty. But that's how we're going to close it out. A Gino Winter 3 is going to be the final points on the board. Avdia is still going for it. Is he? Wow. So the final points on the board are instead going to be a Denny Avdia layup. We're going to let Studley drain the clock out here. I'm not too worried about it. We're on our home floor. It's Game 5, and we've done it. This is the first title in Brooklyn Nets history. Studley Bond, the Syracuse kid, hometown hero, gets it done. We get Shep Pickett, Jaron Bamba their rings as well. Geno Winter, who we drafted at the start of the episode. I mean, all these guys playing huge roles in this championship run. The Nets are now immortalized in history. Look at them celebrate. I knew I needed to do this. This feels good. So we're going to, I believe that's Geno Winter holding up the championship trophy. Who's going to get that second one, though? That's what I want to know. Show me who gets that finals MVP. Wow, Shep Pickett. He's going to be the finals MVP, standing with Adam Silver, Foster giving him the high fives. And I told you, man, Pickett was our franchise player. As lucky as we got with Studley Bond, Pickett was that guy. I don't know exactly what everybody's stats in the finals were, but Studley, he probably deserved it. I don't know. We'll have to see. But Foster, I mean, 26, 12, and 5 stocks. I mean, Bamba, 21 and 8. These guys are talented, you know. They could win a lot more. I'm not trying to set the next video up too hard. Shep Pickett, 24, 4, and 6 on 60%, 45%, 90. Basically, I mean, that's insane splits. I assume that is from the finals and not the playoffs. We are going to take a look at the team stats. In the playoffs, Bond and Pickett were very similar. I would say that Bond's turnovers is what sets him apart. I would love for him to have the ball all the time. I mean, he just does not turn the ball over at all. He's insane. In the finals, as we can see, though, Pickett is clearly the MVP. 25 a game, 6 and 4. So those stats were accurate. Pickett, like I said, I mean, we knew he was special. He definitely stepped it up for the playoffs this year. Bond actually was kind of a step down from the regular season, just in terms of the rebounding. He wasn't as, effective. So that's 2 offensive rebounds per game. That's kind of crazy to average that. But Bamba and Foster each played their parts. Foster stepped up in the playoffs, as did Bamba. I mean, the three-point shooting actually became somewhat consistent at 36. His whole efficiency shot up to 50. So you love to see that. Foster was a lot more efficient just from the field in general in the playoffs than in the regular season. Yates was taking a step up. I mean, he shot the three ball incredibly well. I feel very, very satisfied with the ending to this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see this team, really go all the way through their careers, I could be convinced to do a video like that. They are all super young. I mean, Studley Bond, Bamba, Foster are all still 21. Pickett and Yates are 22. Winter's only 21. I mean, this could be a dynasty. It's also really possible that it's hard for all of us, to keep everybody around. So, like I said, that would be one more episode if anybody wanted it. But that's the last I'm going to speak of it. We got the Nets a ring. It wasn't exactly the way we expected it to go, but it ended with our franchise guy holding that trophy up. And, our first draft pick in Shep Pickett, that's not true. Pickett was 13th, right? Yeah, so Bamba was technically our first draft pick. But I liked both Bamba and Pickett. There was really no order between them. Bamba ends up being the higher overall as we end this video. But I'm sure if we gave everybody a chance to develop after this incredible season, it might turn out a little differently. And again, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Let me know. I'd love to hear from anybody who's got comments. Anyways, I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, take care.